What's going on?
Just waking up in Altoona, Pennsylvania. We came here and did a radio event yesterday for Quick Rock, KWIK 105.9. And we did an acoustic VIP party for contest winners. It was a Fuel show. It was their 50th anniversary party, and Fuel headlined, and it was a great day. We got the ad for Day Drinking, and we got a brand new radio supporter. So I think we're up to about 26 stations out of 102 right now.
Nice.
And the song debuted on the top 40 BDS Active Rock chart.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I think it's our 5th or 6th top 40 single at radio, but it's the very first one to ever debut on the chart.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. So we're really excited. The team that's pushing the song and working the song, it'll be worked through October, and they have reasonable expectations that it's going to go top 20 at Active Rock. So all intents and purposes, this will be the song that puts us back on the map. So, it'll be like a bona fide rock radio hit to follow up Immortal, so which is great, which will really bring the band back. So we're excited, man. We're excited. It's been a long road just to here. We got a long road ahead, but it feels good to have picked the right single for the right time, and something fun as well too that rounds out the album.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of the album, Ithaca, since we're on that topic.
Sure.
I love it, man. I think it's a great album.
Thank you.
When you guys sat down to write that for your follow-up from how was the writing process? How did that work out for you? How do you guys go about writing these songs, like Day Drinking, which was
Day Drinking was funny because it was a 2-month session, and we did the record with Elvis Basquet again, and it was a great experience. Just awesome working with him. I mean, you can't say enough great things about the guy. He's not only a personal friend now, but kind of consider him family, to be honest. And he's such a brilliant dude, but so much fun to work with, and just brings the best out in you. I've had the most amazing experiences working with him. Between Locked and Loaded and Ithaca, I mean, just learned so much. It's a real honor to do vocals with him. I mean, he's recorded some of the greatest singers of the genre over the last 20 years, from Incubus all the way to all the Alter Bridge stuff, so, I mean, it's just, and everybody in between, so it's like, you step into a booth with Elvis, I mean, you're always bringing your A game, and he just knows how to bring the best out in you. So I love working with him, and we were really grinding on this album, really put it together from a lot of starts and ideas, but we really put the record together in the studio, and Day Drinking was just something that we were working late hours, and just kind of burning the midnight oil. So it just kind of naturally came about. It was kind of like a goof song at first, and it was one of those songs that came together really quick. Him and I hammered out the vocals and lyrics and stuff to it after we had the guitar riffs and the progression together and arranging. It came together in about 45 minutes. So it just was one of those things. I think it was like the natural release to the album, after constructing everything. It was kind of a fun, balanced song. And, it was a lot of fun recording it, with the vocals and stuff. I mean, we really were going, kind of like for a Pour Some Sugar on Me, kind of AC/DC anthem, kind of party anthem. We've always had 80s in our sound, and we just really wanted to, make sure we continued representing that. And we wanted something that was going to, like I said, round out the album, be a fun song, to counter some of the heavier content on the record.
Well, I think it does that very, very well.
Thank you.
And you guys covered No Easy Way Out. What was the decision to do that? Because that's a great cover. I mean, I love the cover.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, I've always, it's one of my favorite songs of all time. Robert Tepper, I think, is one of the most underrated and songwriters of the 80s, and that is a fighter's anthem, for multiple reasons, obviously, with the Rocky IV soundtrack. And,
yes, indeed.
There's just so many parallels with us and the Rocky story. And, for most of my career, I've been kind of compared to the Rocky Balboa of hard rock, kind of always the underdog and, kind of having to scrap our way to make opportunities happen for ourselves and create our own breaks, so to speak. And, at the time, finishing the album, I was going through a divorce, and my mom had just been diagnosed with breast cancer and had gone, through treatments, chemo, and it was just a really, really tough time in my life. Probably the hardest time in my life ever, and just going through so many personal things. And the song it was a song that I was, using to get through life on. And I figured, I was like, I knew that movie Creed 2 was coming out. And I was really excited about the Rocky franchise kind of getting that kind of boost, with a modern twist on the plot line of Rocky 4. So I was like, Jeremiah and I wanted to do a cover, and he had done Survivor, Eye of the Tiger for a long time in a previous, band. Mm-hmm. But I just didn't want to touch that song because it had been done so many times with so many other bands. So I came to him with this, and he really loved it. And he was able to put together a really great guitar arrangement for it, kind of reworking the song and finding the right tuning on it for guitar. So, it seemed to naturally come together between him and I. He really loved it, connected with it, and, we just ran with it, and we were able to record that one really fairly quickly. So, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to make, and then obviously the video was a challenge as well, but, it was also really a fun creative process too. So,
sure.
Songs like that, we're really funny about covers because, there's a lot of stuff today, in today's day and age of tribute bands and, kind of guys doing stuff that I always think is like, we're just real weary of stuff. Certain things we just feel is like hollowed ground, so we kind of stay away from Zeppelin stuff and like even AC/DC and GNR and Van Halen. Like there's just certain bands that I just feel like, I don't know, you just don't touch, They're just so particular and so special and so iconic that we would never want to like tread on that kind of hollowed ground, but I really felt like this was a song that's always hung in there on playlists and just, pop culture, view and mind's eye, so to speak. It's, I'm a gym rat too, so it's how I stay in shape on the road and keep this show high energy. So, I really wanted another workout song, selfishly, that I could jam to, and I just thought, kind of giving that a bit of a pop metal update would be cool, and, it's a gamble. It's a really revered song as well. So we weren't really sure how people were going to receive it, but I tell you, it's been, overwhelmingly positive, and then the icing on the cake was really getting, a tweet, from Robert Tepper himself after he had heard the version. And, he tweeted us, how much he loved the version and appreciated the sincerity and the passion in the performances. And, he was like, this is really, really good, guys. Thank you so much. Honored, and I was like, I'm saying that as I'm getting goosebumps. So he's actually reached out to us and our management, asking us when we're going to be in the LA area, because he'd love to come out and perform the song with us.
Oh no, that'd be a treat.
Yeah. So, we're planning a West Coast run in September, because we're going out there to do some radio shows, which are beautifully turning into benefits for our, 22 Dreams Come True campaign for the veterans, that we're raising money, for, the purpose of ending veteran suicide. And, we're going to be out in the Spokane, Yakima, Washington area, Portland, whatnot. So we're going to be all the way out on the Pacific Coast. So we're trying now to work on a route that would take us down the Pacific Coast Highway in California to lead us to LA. So if that's a way that we cap off the year, taking the stage at the Whiskey A Go Go with Robert Tepper performing No Easy Way Out with us, I mean, that's just, you can call it a comeback, I guess you could say at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree, 100%. Well, speaking of playing venues, what's like your dream venue to play?
What's that?
What is like your dream venue to play? Like, you sit down and think about it. Where's the one place?
Well, speaking of LA, I mean, I've done a lot of the venues out there that are iconic between Roxy and the Whiskey. I've never done the Troubadour, which is, recently been in comeback mode with Guns N' Roses launching their Not In This Lifetime tour at the Troubadour. I think that was in 2016 or 2017.
I think it was 2016. I saw the Not In This Lifetime tour in 2016.
Yeah, so I think they launched that. I think the spring of 2016 they did it at the Troubadour, and that's one that I'd love to cross off the list, from the LA scene. But we've been pretty blessed. I mean, in my career and time with the band, in 2012 when we toured with Creed, we did some really iconic theaters between the Beacon in New York, and we did the Chicago Theater, where the tour kicked off there. We did a lot of incredible theaters, the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. But I think the pinnacle for me, I've done a couple of arenas in my career on different tours I've been in, but, helming from New York and being, that we built, Alex and I built the band in New York City. I mean, the ultimate crown and the jewel in the crown is definitely Madison Square Garden.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really the pinnacle for us. I mean, I've always grown up and worshiping, all the greats that have had incredible concert films recorded there, from Zeppelin and Clapton on, and, to do, I've seen quite a few. We saw David Gilmour on his last solo tour there. I mean, it just sounds amazing, especially ever since they've renovated it. There's something about the acoustics there. It's still the seminal place to be. So I would think, if we are so blessed that we continue this ride and keep opening it up and, like we are right now, and it leads to Madison Square Garden, we'll do an update on this interview and go, wow, Randy, these, dreams are coming true for sure.
Well, that's the idea. Gotta get you guys to the top.
Yeah, well, we're excited and optimistic, and we're going out and hitting it in a way that a lot of bands aren't doing it right now. So I think it's we're seeing the reaction in people's faces, and it really comes down to one commodity, and it's energy, and kind of a little bit of a reckless abandon, desperation, so to speak. Going out there. I mean, that's what rock and roll's always been to me. The greatest bands that have inspired us, have always had that X factor, and that's electric kind of, energy that you can't really turn away. I see bands that have made it, and you go out and you see them at the top, and then you also see them kind of when they're starting to mail it in, and the difference in the band and their appeal is basically that thing, that energy, that kind of like intensity, and so, that's something that we're really aware of, and, we're out here fighting for Eve to Adam, but we're also fighting for the rock and roll genre. I mean, there's a lot of complacency and a lot of mailing it in going on a lot of different levels with, heritage groups and legacy bands, and then bands that come back because they obviously are looking for some sort of economic support. And, that's the one thing that I always am a little disgruntled about. It's like, okay, if you're going to come back and you're going to bang up the fans for high ticket price, it's more than lights and production. You've got, your fans want to see that passion there, and luckily for us, I mean, I've never lost that. Whether we play in front of 220 or 2,000, it's, the level of intensity is at a certain place, and it only grows from there. I make sure it never drops beneath a certain level, percentage, so to speak. I try to go out there and hit it hard and leave it all up there, because being lucky enough to reboot this the second time and getting another shot at this, I'm not taking anything for granted. And I approach every gig that way. I mean, I have for most of my career, to be honest, but really this time around, it's special to me. I think as you grow up and, you get a little older, you start to appreciate, certain things in life. And as a performer and an artist at this point in my life now with the band and having built this and seeing now how people have respected the catalog, and we have this incredible fan page on Facebook where it's amazing to see like fans put up, hey, what are some of your favorite Eve to Adam songs? And to see, the variance in the song selection, spanning the catalog all the way from Auburn Slip through, multitudes of deep tracks on, Queens to Eden and Banquet and Locked, and it's not just Immortal and Locked and Loaded and Straight Jacket, which are awesome tunes, and I love them. I mean, I love playing them and everything, but it's great to see, stuff off of Banquet for Starving Dog that are deep cuts like Little Says and Fault Line, and It's Getting Weird Without You, and Last Call on Queens to Eden, comes up quite a bit, and Black Flag Days and stuff like that. So, it's like that's just, that's the ultimate compliment, really, as a writer and as an artist, to see how many different songs off of different albums, which are different eras of the band's progression, that have stayed in people's consciousness and are in rotation, in their musical libraries, So, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said I still love Run Your Mouth.
Yeah, we just played that actually yesterday for the acoustic VIP thing. It went over great,
Yeah.
The cool thing with this lineup is, everything is, people coming out and seeing it, they're like, man, really, you guys are doing justice to what you're doing, but I like it. It's a little heavier, it's a little edgier. It's got a, so we're, especially the older stuff, we're just, we're really, we're kind of giving it its due and giving it a little extra octane. So it's fun, it's really fun to play this stuff live and to, and especially in today's day and age, where most bands, you see them live and you go, man, it's not as good as the album. We've been getting the opposite, that they love the records, but they really are appreciating the adrenaline pace of the material live. So we'd rather be in that category where they're enjoying the live show even more than the albums. So it's better to be going that direction than the other way, in my opinion.
I 100% agree with you.
So there's too many bands, that you love that are coming back or keeping it going, and it's like you go and see it and you're like, oh, the best days are behind them, or it's definitely a money grab, or, they're relying on production and lights or costume changes or gimmicks or, and all that's great. I mean, it's great to enhance a show with costumes. It's great to have, production, but Alice Cooper has had costumes and productions for 35, 40 years, and he's never foregone the fact that you need a killer band up there that's rocking, you know what I mean, legitimately rocking, and so that has to be part of the formula as well, which I think for a lot of younger, newer bands that haven't been around, as long as an artist like an Alice Cooper or whatnot, they forget that, that at the core of it, the audience, you can't underestimate their musical IQ. Just because they can't play lead guitar or, haven't written a hit song doesn't mean that they understand what the elements or the recipe is of a great live, hard rock show or, metal show or rock and roll show. I mean, and I think a lot of times artists underestimate the audience, and I think that's your first mistake, because the audience is smart and keen, and they're going to be even more fine-tuned when you're charging them $60 to $100 a ticket. They're going to really want something, fantastic, and it's more so the band firing on all cylinders and performing the music fantastically than just, state-of-the-art lights and sound. That's great, but it doesn't satisfy, real audiophiles that are looking for, some fire, coming from the band. So that's one thing we just, you can't ever negate that. If you're going to start with a recipe, that's got to be the original ingredient, It's simple. It's simple stuff. I mean, this stuff's not rocket science. I've been saying this for years, and going around the country and working with promoters promotions groups and stuff. It's like, guys, some drink specials and, giving the fans a break on tickets and whatnot, and doing some things that, for the ladies, to bring my ladies to some of these club shows, like ladies' night. This stuff is not revolutionary concepts. I mean, these have been around for years. It's a lack of creativity in general, that I've seen in the genre. So we're really just trying to kind of, bring back a lot of the things that we grew up on that have been working for 20 years. That, some people have just lost sight of, that really just have been staples of the genre and helped keep the flame lit. And, we're bringing all of this back, and trying to work with bands that embrace the same kind of ethos, the same kind of ideas. Like I said last night to the radio people, it's like, we're not out here just fighting for Eve to Adam. We're legitimately fighting for rock and roll. Rock is under attack from a lot of different sides, and genres, and a younger generation of kids that don't really understand, what it is, and haven't really fallen in love with it because they've grown up with representations around them that have either been past their prime, or it all looks like it's just like, it's way too easy. Like there's no emotional, commitment to it, so to speak, So it's like trying to bring back the romance, to why we've dedicated our lives to it, And so it's a multitude of, campaigns out here, not only fighting for the band and trying to reestablish its, level in the genre and reach new successes, but, represent the genre and reinvigorate it, And the best way we have found to do that is to go out every night and just kill it, and kill it with a high energy, high octane, rebellious kind of, holds barred, leave it all on the stage kind of show, and we're taking it from bands, that are out there with, TV screens and, video and big geysers and lights and all this stuff and great gimmicks, but, no horsepower in the engine, Right. So at the end of the day, people just want to see you, throw, pedal to the metal, donuts in the parking lot, burning rubber, that's rock and roll, loud and proud. And, the enhancements are great, but it's not going to make up for the fact that you're not giving it up, and that's the bottom line. So that's the formula that's gotten us through. We're really, really happy that people, have been so positive and receptive to Ithaca. And like last night, we were selling some albums at the show after the, acoustic performance for Quick Rock, 105.9 and here in Central PA. And, a couple of fans were like, I've downloaded a few of your albums, and what I really enjoy about your albums compared to some other bands, that, I can put them on and just drive, and they play, from start to finish. I don't have to skip around. The songs all don't sound the same. There's a lot of sonic identity in the material, and, I can listen to your album start to finish. And I said to the lady, I was like, thank you so much for saying that. It's something we've heard throughout our career, and something we pride ourselves on, is that, the art and craft of making albums is something that's not lost on us, and something we respect deeply. Because it's, in today's day and age, with the single downloads and now digital downloads and streaming, you can arrange your own playlists and you can put your own versions together, and that's great. I think, power to the people. I'm all about it. But still, the integrity of the artist's statement, should be as cohesive as possible. And that should be an option that's viable and available still, to be the first, the first statement, so to speak. You want to alter it beyond there, that's fine. You've got the liberty to do that, and we're happy that you're, so entertained by it that you would, But, coming from the band and coming from the artist and the origin of the thought, it still should be, the album should be a concept that has a vision and makes a statement, and I'm going to continue doing that, till the day we put this thing to bed. So, which doesn't seem like anytime soon now. So the label we're on is already making arrangements for us to record another album in December. So there'll be a new, fresh, brand new record for 2020. And as we approach our 20-year anniversary, in 2021, we put our first, major release out in 2001. So, we're turning a corner, and as we're doing it, we're not taking anything for granted, and we're trying to up the ante. So,
excellent. Well, since we're talking about touring and all that, you guys have toured all around the United States. Have you had the chance to tour outside of the United States?
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up because right now we're in discussions for a European tour in October. We're trying to continue the day drinking campaign and take it overseas to Germany and other parts of Europe as well around the time of Oktoberfest. So there's some big festivals there, and there has been some talk of there's another band that we're really big fans of. It's not set or whatnot, but our manager has definitely mentioned it, and it's something that I'm excited about, and that's going out and doing the run with the Dead Daisies.
Oh, I love the Dead Daisies.
Yeah, really incredible band, and it goes in line with everything we're talking about.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, Karabi's an incredible singer, and you've got, the lineup is, it's just insane, as far as like players and experience level and musicianship, talk about a rock and roll band that's putting on a great show and plays phenomenally and just represents everything we just discussed. So,
yeah, absolutely.
That would be, a huge dream come true to infiltrate Europe, so to speak, with the opportunity to open for such a killer band. So, but there are a couple different opportunities on it, and we're just trying to find the right fit and the right timing, on it. But it's definitely, it looks like it's going to happen. And certainly, if it's not this fall, it will be spring next year. So it's long overdue. We get messages from the UK and France and Germany and all places. Really, Spain, Greece, it's just Amsterdam, Norway, Sweden. Every day I'm getting messages in different platforms on social media wondering about, the band, people that have just recently discovered the band, and they're like, wow, this is stuff I love. When are you coming here? So it's been long overdue, but better late than never. And always make a great first impression. So
that's right.
It looks like it's all coming together, and I'm hopeful that Europe leads to Japan and Japan leads to South America. So that's the ultimate goal is in relaunching the band was really making sure that Evefathom becomes an international brand, and that we have the opportunity to entertain hard rock and metalheads from all over the world.
Excellent. So when you guys sit down to work out a playlist for your set, what's like when you see it on the list, what is your favorite song to play live?
Oh man, that's such a tough question for me because
is it like night to night? Does it just vary for you?
No, I just have so many of them that I really love, and for different reasons, but I think consistently, Straight Jacket Supermodel is one of my favorites.
Great tune.
Just because it has so many dynamics, and it was such a fun experience writing that with Eric Bass from Shinedown. And it's a theatrical kind of dynamic song, so I really love that. But, I love, we're bringing back Fault Line from Banquet. We just recently worked that up, and in driving the bus, because I own the bus and I live on the bus, after going through my divorce and everything. And so it's a very liberating feeling, when you got a 4 or 5 hour drive in front of you, what I can listen to. And I've been discovering a lot of new bands, but in the interim, I've had the chance to go back and rediscover my own catalog, because there had been stuff I hadn't listened to for years for whatever reason, personal reasons, or saw stuff that I'd been going through at that time in my life that inspired a certain song, and sometimes you're just not ready to delve into that. But recently I've just been playing all of the stuff that's on our Spotify channel, and it's been great. I mean, I've really had a chance to rediscover some great stuff off of Queens to Eden, like If You Are, and Eclipse, and My Vanity off of Banquet, and I mean, there's just a lot of tunes, man. I mean, we've got our work cut out for us, because the band has been phenomenal in representing the material, and and really putting their all into it and their own signature on it, which has been great for the live show. But our schedule is filling up, so getting a sound check these days is turning into like rehearsal time for us, really, more than anything, because we're just trying to add these songs.
Sure.
Because a lot of fans are coming out, 151, they want, so we're adding 151, we're adding Reach, we're adding, like I said, Fault Line. I mean, I'd like to add Black Flag Days. I'd like to add, Eclipse is on there, Open Door, and some people are like, I haven't seen you play guitar in a while, any hopes of being able to pick up a guitar again? And I was like, yeah, I definitely, there's a few numbers. I mean, I'd like to do maybe an acoustic segment of a few songs acoustic during a longer set. We're working into an hour 15 and an hour and a half now, for some of these concerts and festivals and stuff. So there's definitely, my Black Martin, I'm definitely gonna be breaking that out and working together, probably, kind of a medley of acoustic songs that I'm going to string together in a way that will kind of cover, a good bit of the catalog and the band's career. So, another song, especially, getting so involved with, Two Vets on a Mission and our quest to end veteran suicide with 22 Dreams Come True is Coming Home, which a lot of, is a very important song to a lot of veterans and wounded warriors and their families and stuff. So, that's a song that I'm definitely bringing back, and we'll definitely be playing acoustic guitar on, and so, it's just really nice to have so much interest and so much general goodwill, from the audience and the fans on, it's certainly better to hear, hey, we want to hear more than, hey, why don't you cut that out? So it's, I think we're doing the right things. We just got to keep doing it. Catch a couple more breaks. We're really blessed to have Day Drinking taken off at radio. We're just about to shoot the video this week in West Virginia. We're doing a big festival called Food Truck Frenzy, where is being headlined by Blue Oyster Cult, and Hinder is on it. And Scott Bartlett from Saving Abel has a new project he's doing with one of the American Idols. I think it's called Mad Souls. We're on it. Slanty Soul, Jasmine Kane. It's going to be a really great event in Princeton, West Virginia. And something that we've been giving away tickets to. We've given away 22 pairs of tickets to veterans and their families so they can come and enjoy the event. And also we put together a special meet and greet with some of the bands as well, so they can get some memorabilia signed and get some pictures with the bands and just have a really nice day on us. So it's our way of giving back. We're not Metallica, but we certainly have certain things that are at our discretion, and we have certain power that we can institute, and one of the things is being part of these events. We have the ability to give away some tickets and make the event special, and that's something we really like to extend to our veterans and their families, as a way of us saying thank you for everything you've done for us.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely amazing.
Well, it makes us feel really good, and it's also, we live in really divisive times. And everyone's very politically charged, and the country's very divided. And, we don't choose to get involved in politics. We don't use our public forum to do that, because I think it's just, it's not the right place. People want to be entertained. They want to get away from it. And also you end up dividing the audience, and the last thing you want to do is segregate your fans, across political lines.
Right.
I firmly believe politics is a waste of time these days. It's really, I don't care which side you're on. Neither is doing enough for the country. And, I travel these roads every day, and we can start, if you want to make America great, we can start by rebuilding the roads and taking care of our veterans. Let's start there, because those are two things I firmly believe in, But, using the platform of music and the power of music, for causes, like 22 Dreams Come True and ending veteran suicide and, you know, kind of inspiring humanitarianism again, amongst the rock and metal community, you know, I think is a really valid and worthy cause. And I think we've seen the power that music has to unite us, and it's a place where we meet in the middle. And, you know, for an hour or two a night, you know, everybody kind of, you know, we're just one group of people, you know, enjoying art and music, and, you know, we're just human beings. And we forget and discard the labels, and we're just Americans, you know. And I think that that's something we all need to get back to. You know, at the end of the day, that's the ultimate team we play for. We play for the American team. It's not whether you're this side or that side. And this cause has really given me a new motivation. You know, fighting for them, you know, is something that inspires me, and it's helped reinvigorate me, because I was very disillusioned for a long time with the state of the music business, and just the state of the lack of quality in music and the lack of artistry that seems to get popular level. And, you know, being able to kind of throw myself into a really incredible cause for a group of people that had been forgotten, and wrongfully so, has really given me new life as an artist and as an activist. You know, I don't feel that what's going on is right. You know, it's a social injustice, and it's an American shame, in my opinion. 22 to 30 American veterans a day are committing suicide, and I think that as a country we're so blessed and so powerful and so rich for this to be going on every day. And modern society, even moving at a pace where no one's batting an eye. You know, I see how we solve problems in this country. When we really want to do things, we get it done. And for me, I'm highlighting this issue because this is something that's long overdue and deserves our respect and our immediate attention, so that we can help these people out and their families. They've already been through enough. They sacrificed so much for the flag and for this country and for us and our way of life. And the way that they're getting repaid, by basically having to deal with an inundated system that, you know, isn't reactive enough, nor dealing with the issue quickly enough. And it's an American shame. So we need to change that. And I look around and I see a lot of my colleagues, not doing anything. And I feel that, you know, if I was getting the opportunity to do this band again and get some, you know, press and acclaim and whatnot, I think it's great to be able to talk about your new album, your new tour, but there's still plenty of time to talk about other things. And instead of getting into politics or whatnot, let's talk about this. You know, in the time we're having this interview, you know, I mean, 3 people have committed suicide. You know, it's like, it's just wrong. It's wrong. There's no reason for it. We can do better. We can do much better. We're better than this. And I think it's a reflection and a wake-up call to us as a society that we need to start to care more about others than just ourselves. We're a very selfish, motivated people right now. And with the advent of technology, it's only gotten worse. And I think it's really exposed something. To me, this situation and the veteran suicide situation in this country is a red dashboard warning light. And it represents that we're going the wrong way as a country. And I think that we start with this. I think we have a problem with mental health in this country, in general. But I'd like to start by focusing on raising money to help our veterans and solving this issue by reworking mental health protocol for this issue in particular, for helping the spouses and the families, to deal with this issue. They need immediate help. They need support. A lot of it comes in the form of emotional support. There's hotlines that need to be retabulated as far as information goes. I mean, I can't believe we have an Angie's List for carpenters and electricians that have been vetted, but you don't know which hotline to call for suicide, because some of these are just not worth the time of dialing them. You know, I mean, all of this stuff needs to be redone, because in moments of crisis, you know, there's no time for error. You know, and you know, specifically we're raising money for a canine division for this program that would help to fund the training of dogs for PTSD and and heavy wounded trauma victims from the battles, from the war. And, there's a heavy demand for veterans that need these animals. And, there's great work being done out there, but not enough. And it's not being facilitated quickly enough. And my partner in this campaign, Paulie Gregg, from Two Vets on a Mission out of Jacksonville, he just recently was given a German Shepherd. His name is Quincy. He's in a lot of the videos that we've been posting. He's an incredible animal, awesome personality. And I've seen the effect that it's had on him. He suffers from Gulf War syndrome and PTSD. And, it's just been incredible, the impact that the animal has had on his life, and his personality and his willingness to continue to fight. And so it's something that I believe in, that impact of that program, is definitely, it's bona fide, it's true, and it shows incredible results. So we're working with a couple different, facilities out of Greenville, South Carolina, and Tupelo, Mississippi, that have access to the dogs, and have the ability to train the dogs. They just don't have the funding. They've been using independent and private sector funding, which is great, but it's just not enough. And it's sporadic and it's not consistent. So what we're trying to do is host concert events and invite bands that we know are our level or slightly bigger that are sympathetic to this cause. And we're hosting some big concerts this summer where the entire ticket cost is going to benefit this program in particular. So we've set certain goals, and we just are going to continue to smash those goals and then set new goals and continue. And this is a cause that will not end for us until this issue is in the rearview mirror.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
I mean, to me, it's like, it's a natural extension of what we do. And if you are truly a patriot, one of the biggest regrets in my life is that I didn't get a chance, to serve. And, I was building this band and I was, engaged in other parts of my life. But, it's something that's always, spoken to me. And, in meeting so many amazing veterans through the duration of this band's career, from different branches of the service. We've made some really incredible friendships and bonds with, Navy SEALs and Special Forces guys and Green Berets, Rangers, Marines. I mean, just so many people across the spectrum, men and women. And, they've made a huge impact on me. And what made the most impact was their respect and love for our music and how our music has gotten them through some of the worst times in their career, but also just in their lives, and how much Immortal means to them, and how much Locked and Loaded was a song that they would take into battle with them. And, just Gift was another song that, when I was out on tour with Hailstorm, and in this moment, I had a couple of Navy SEALs come up to me in Reno, Nevada. One of them gave me their 50-year coin, anniversary coin, JFK on it. I mean, it was like, I couldn't believe it. It's like an unbelievable honor, so for me, it's like, it's a natural extension of that kind of relationship and respect and camaraderie that I've been lucky enough to garner over my career with these incredible people and these warriors that, just I have the utmost admiration for, and they're true heroes. We play one on the stage, but these people are the real deal. And, I think it's just, it's a no-brainer for me to be able to use our platform and step up to the plate and do something for real and make a difference and do everything we can to make impact and save some lives, because that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. We're saving lives and we're changing people's perspective and trying to, retabulate, the stigma that goes along with, veterans issues and veterans affairs and the stigma of veteran suicide, and the youth, the generation, the younger generation just below us needs to embrace something other than themselves, or technology or video games. All of this is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love technology. I think it's made a lot of things great. It's made a lot of things terrible as well. But I think it's the positives have outweighed the negatives. But I think that, getting off your ass and getting involved in something that benefits someone other than yourself, and doing something for your community and reaching out for others, standing for others, is a really beneficial experience overall on every level. And I think if we can teach each other some things, they can teach me how to hashtag properly on Instagram, and I can teach them, the power of service, for my fellow citizens, and I can't think of a better group of people to start with, the veterans of America. So
I 100% agree with you. So,
it's been an incredible reaction, man, across the board. I'm so grateful, from rock radio all the way down to promoters, fans, and it's been really, really great to see, to see that there's so much heart left out there. And sometimes it just takes, a group of people coming along and just firing that up. It's there. It's right under the current there. Just got to throw a little gasoline on it, and it's all of a sudden it illuminates, and that's the purpose I've always felt, growing up and being inspired by artists and musicians and actors. And, that's where I think this is all kind of got convoluted. It's like, you don't want your favorite artist to, stand for a particular, like, political party or something, but you want them to kind of stand for something inspiring that goes across the board, and that doesn't divide but unites. In my opinion, that's what I've always thought. I've always thought that the power of artists and musicians stands in the power to inspire, and the power to unite. And I think that it's a natural extension of what we do. And it has such power, music and the impressions made from it, from performing and from the music itself, that, being able to apply that in a positive way, to make impact and change the world, to make it a better place, is not just ideological and utopian. It's something that can be instituted and done. And I've seen the results just in what we've been doing for less than 60 days. And this is a very small operation. This is essentially began with Paulie, myself, and Island, just deciding to, Island Thaner, my bass player, and we've known Paulie for a long time through the Florida scene, and, and he's been let down by other bands he's worked with, that have talked a big game and said that they would do this and that and whatnot. And, it's out of sight, out of mind for a lot of guys. And I just think that, when a band hits it, that's the time to make it, and so we're back on a positive tick and, an upward tick, and, we're just not taking anything for granted, and there's no time to be lost with this crisis. It needs attention now. So, my ultimate goal is to get the attention of Gary Sinise and his foundation, and other mainstream profile players like himself and other actors as well, and entertainers that, on a much bigger level than myself and my band. But, I believe in, climbing the ladder and getting to the right folks. And, if part of my legacy is that, we helped end this, or we're a catalyst in helping it to end it, it's something that I'd be very proud of. Because I seen the damage done, to these folks and their families. And it's stuff that's just, no matter how much we correct it, it's never going to be as it was before. And we owe them at least that, and we owe them a lot more. But, at least them knowing that there's a place that they can go to and that there are people out there that care, that won't shut the door in their face. That's something that we're gonna make sure they understand.
So you're currently out on tour, as usual. You guys are on tour all the time. Where can people find your tour dates and any information you want them to have?
Well, the best place we have found, bandsintown.com /Eve to Adam. That seems to be a more consistent ticket agent and show information. platform. So bandsintown.com, if you track the band there, I think we have like 43 or 44,000 trackers on that. That one seems to cover most of the digital platforms. I know that Spotify uses a different one. I think it's called Songkick. But Spotify, if you're on Spotify, a lot of people do use that digital platform. We are linked with their ticket information company as well. But we do our very best to make sure that the show information is consistent. Obviously, Facebook events, if you're on Facebook and you follow us and have liked our page on facebook.com/Eve to Adam, the show information there is usually as current as possible. Hold on a second, this guy's cutting the grass out here. Let me go inside so we can hear it. Alright. So yeah, bandsintown.com/Eve to Adam is probably the place I would start.
Okay, fantastic. So as we wrap up, is there anything else you want the fans to know about Eve to Adam?
Well, first off, just want to thank them. We always, if it wasn't for our fans, we wouldn't survive, and we wouldn't still be here, and we wouldn't be on the level that we're at. So, first and foremost, always the fans. They are everything to us. They keep us going on many levels, but mostly on a motivation level. The love and respect they've shown for the group over the years, and the catalog has been nothing short of phenomenal, and we love them very much. But beyond that, all I can really say is just if you love your favorite band, your favorite artist, make it a point to somehow purchase the music from the artist, and that means streaming is great, and I use it myself. It's a wonderful tool and it's very convenient. But the way that things are set up right now, it's very difficult to make decent money on it just to sustain the project or just a living wage, so to speak. So, make it an effort if you could to download the music from Apple Music or purchase a physical copy at a show. Because at least, having paid for the music properly, in a sense, allows us to continue to make more music. It's not going to allow us to go and buy a Porsche or anything like that, where a lot of people think, they're always like, well, these guys, they think it's MTV Cribs. Those days are gone. We're really talking about, am I going to be able to pay my tax bill? Am I going to be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to pay my phone? It's a different level. The cost of doing this today is it's more expensive than ever. And to sustain the project is really what it is. If we don't recoup what we did on the record, the cost of production, if you like the standard of production and you like the way things sound, the quality that you're used to, you have to please make an effort to properly purchase the music. That's the money that directly goes to the artist and allows us to continue doing it. So streaming is awesome, but it's not enough to keep this thing moving. So if we just always let people know that the greatest way to keep Eve to Adam moving and going is making sure you actually buy the album somehow, download it or purchase it at a show, because that fund actually goes towards making sure that we can make another one. So it'll keep it going.
Excellent. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate all the time you've given me today. And
oh man, no worries, dude. You're one of the best. I really I enjoy working with you, and you definitely get it. Get it. You get what we're doing. You get rock and roll. And that's what it's about. That's the other thing. We're working with people that, we build a database with folks that, that we want to continue, working through time. And as the story grows, we believe in, making sure they get credit for being there first. That's part of how this works. We're all in the same fight. We all grew up with with this style of music, and with the advent of everything going on, it's under attack. So we really, we all need to help each other out and stick together and spread the word and, unite, because, we're trying to build a sense of community as well. The bands that I loved in the 80s and 90s were all part of a scene. They were all part of a movement. And nowadays there's so much, everything's fractured and segregated, and, it just shouldn't be that way. What it really should be is, one for all for one kind of thing. And whether you're metalcore or you're punk rock or you're hard rock or you're alternative rock, we don't care as long as you rock.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And, no time like today than to get this moving, and get this united again so that we can show the strength in numbers and help to inspire a lot of kids out there that have never seen anything like that. And it's up to us to make sure they understand what they're missing. So.
Well said.
That's what it is.
Very well said.
So I hope you enjoy Bob Seger tonight. Is this the very last show of the tour?
I think so. There might be one Saturday, but I think this is the last show.
And you're based where? You're in Ohio or Detroit, or where are you at?
We are in Ohio.
And so the show's in Ohio or is it in Detroit?
It's a DTE up in
Detroit. Yeah. So you're going right back to the origin of it.
Yes.
Wow. Funny story about Bob Seger. He's actually my father's a gastroenterologist in Sarasota, Florida. He's been practicing for, almost 40 years. He's 75 and he's looking to retire next year, but Bob Seger is actually one of his patients.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. My dad's he's an immigrant from Greece and, never been a huge rock and roll guy, or, didn't really grow up with it, and doesn't really care too much about pop culture or whatnot. He's a very kind of simple dude, and he likes his music, but, he's a funny guy because he gave me his, I think it was like 2 years ago, I think I was out doing some touring or something, and I was home visiting him, and he goes, Doc, I got the card of this guy. I don't know, maybe you know who he is, but this musician, he's like, he had just done a colonoscopy on him, and I guess he has a house down in Sarasota, Florida or something, or he vacations down there. And he handed me the card, and it said Bob Seger, songwriter, musician, Silver Bullet Band. And he goes, do you know who this guy is? And I was like, oh my God, Dad, are you kidding me? You don't know who this guy is? I'm like, this is one of the greatest rock and roll songwriters and performers of all time. And he's like, well, he's a nice guy, very nice gentleman. And, we had him in, we took care of him and this and that. And I was like, wow, incredible. But yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad he got a chance to tour again. And I guess this is it for him. Right? That's what I've heard. He just doesn't feel like touring he can do it anymore. And I'm not sure if he's ill or not, but it seems that this is
like
truly the end for him. Yeah.
So might just be time to call it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of these guys, it's nice to, if you can still do it, with some style and some grace and do it justice. That's awesome. But there is something to leaving it, exiting stage left with grace. Some guys stay too long. There was nothing ever written in the book. Remember The Who? Pete Townsend said, I hope I die before I get old, right? And it's like, they're still going. Yeah. It's like, it's cool, but maybe it's just about the money now at this point, I don't know, It's not even the entire band, but I hope you have a great time. I think, he's written some of my favorite songs of all time. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal show, so definitely enjoy it. I hope it lives up to expectations, and let me know. Hit me up anytime. I was actually offered a radio show through Quick Rock last night. The PD was like, man, you have a natural way. She's like, you should be on the radio. And they've invited us to come to the station today on our way to Poughkeepsie. And I think it's something I'm going to work on a segment, live from the road with Taki.
There you go.
You know, and kind of like doing interviews with bands that we're out with and talking about the state of the business, the state of rock and roll, and giving bands that are not heard as much on rock radio a chance to be played, you know?
Sure.
Because that's something that is important to me, is making sure that the next generation of groups have a chance at getting that breakout moment. So I'll keep you updated on that, and then, you know, maybe we can collaborate on getting the word out on that.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I'm down.
So have a great weekend, Randy.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, Taki.
All right, brother. Take care. Bye.
Bye.